Income from bonds is near an all-time low. This is number 3 of the 8 great misconceptions of bonds from our man Alan Roth over at Advisor Perspectives. Great, again, just such a great article. I could not agree more. Interest rates are very low, but get real. Consider taxes and inflation. It's always not the amount of money you get, it's the amount of money you keep. The 10-year Treasury was yielding 12.3% in the 3-year period from 79 to 81. But tax rates were as high as 70% then. And even if only a third went to taxes, the after-tax yield averaged 8.2. Unfortunately, inflation averaged 11.9. So one lost about 3.7 of their spending power back then. Real rates adjusted for inflation and taxes were worse back then. I cannot stress this enough. I tell clients that the purpose of fixed income has never been income. Rather, the purpose is to be a stable component of the portfolio and have money to live on and to rebalance when stocks tank. These high-quality bonds came in handy during the 33 days between February 2020 and March of 2020 when stocks lost 35%. I could not agree more. So if we take our trusty whiteboard here, and I tell you, this is an article. This is where I learned from some old brokers I used to watch doing seminars back in the day when I first became a broker. So I was at Vanguard in 98 through 2001. I was between Vanguard and Schwab. In 97, I was working for Arthur Andersen, and I was doing like just grunt work, creating reports for some rich guys in Phoenix. I remember that. Then a friend of mine went to Vanguard. He recruited me. Where'd he go? I can't remember. But it was Vanguard and Schwab back then. So then I became a banker when we moved back to Virginia in 2000. And then I was working on my CFP. And then, long story short, I became a financial advisor with Legg Mason in 2004. And I'd never forget, I said, okay, I don't know the first thing about how to get clients, none, because I never had to do it before. I mean, I kind of had to do it at the bank, but not the way that I had to do it as a financial advisor. And so I went to a couple of seminars by these guys, and one guy was doing one at the community college in Weir's Cave. I remember that. And then another guy was doing one in Annapolis, good guy, and I went to his seminar. I'll never forget the guy doing it in Weir's Cave. It was such a great piece, and I thought, that was fantastic. So basically he's saying, okay, he was always trying to get you to not do CDs and instead do fixed annuities. And his argument was pretty good. I think it left a lot to be desired, but it's actually a pretty good argument on its face. He says CDs pay 5%. All right, that's what you get in a CD, 5%. This is back in the late 90s, early 2000s. All right, so you're going to pay taxes. We're going to say 25% taxes. All right, so we take our CD. We got 5% CD, 25% taxes. So net of taxes, you take your trusty calculator and you say, what's that, 4 1/4 or something? No, 5 minus 23.75. Yeah, so your netting after tax return is 3.75%. All right, so that's what you're netting. That's your after tax return, 3.75%. Oh, but heaven forbid, heaven to Murgatroyd, you're still at inflation to kick in. And inflation was at 3%. Your net after taxes and inflation is only 0.75. So on your certificate of deposit, you're only making net 75 basis points on a 5% CD. And I always thought that was a great way to look at it. It's like, man, that's not much money. I can't remember what his argument was. His argument was on fixed annuities. You get, I don't know what. We'll just say 6% on fixed annuities. And because this is where they get you, is deferred taxes, you're netting 6% after tax. It wasn't, I'm probably butchering this because it's been so long, but it's not really, because you still have to pay tax on it. You're getting 6% net after tax, but you're deferring it in the future, and you're still losing, 3% to inflation. And so you're netting 3%, if that makes sense. And that's what's arguing. Now, why is the difference between a fixed annuity at 6 and a CD at 5? Because a fixed annuity has no FDIC insurance, none whatsoever. So because of that, it's not as it's more risky because it's only backed by the claim-paying ability of the insurer, the insurance company. But the problem, of course, is at 3%, you still have to pay tax ultimately. It's still growing at, it will be taxed at some point, if that makes sense. It's not taxed on this 3%. That's your net. It's not tax on that. It's tax on 6%. So his argument made sense, but at the end of the day, you're still paying the tax. You're not avoiding the tax on a fixed annuity. And he wasn't as, I don't want to say he's lying. It wasn't like that. I'm butchering it, but the case was because you're not paying tax today on the annuity. The interest is earning taxes, or the interest that you're not paying tax on. The amount of money you're not paying tax is also earning interest as well. So it's the interest is gaining interest, and your principal is gaining interest. That's what it was. The interest is the principal was gaining interest, the interest was gaining interest, and the interest you did not pay taxes on was gaining interest as well. So basically, you're getting three types of interest growth because you're not paying taxes on the interest that you did not pay tax on, whereas before in the CD, you're only getting interest on the principal and interest on your after-tax return. It was not, I mean, look, it was a right argument. It was kind of structured in a way I was like, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. But that's true because, and if you look at but anything fixed income, man, anything that's fixed, and this is what I'm telling people all the time. I say, look, and Alan's going to talk about a different thing here, which confirms what I've always said for a long time. Anything that's fixed, you get 5%. That's it. That's it. You get 5% fixed income. It doesn't change. It doesn't go up. Doesn't go down. Just is what it is. And if you're losing 25% to Uncle Sam and you're losing 3% to inflation, that's what you're going to net. You're going to net 0.75. That's it. Now the problem is the inflation can change. And if inflation changes, this right here, well, then this is going to change. Now, inflation could go down. It could go up. I don't think many people are sitting there thinking inflation is going to go down, are they? So, anyway, all right, thank that. We'll do part 4 here in just a second.